How's it going, everybody? It's me, Pastor Tom, and the one no one likes,
Ashley Olsen.
Well, we are coming to you virtually today because, as you all have probably heard by now, that COVID cases are on the rise here in Eau Claire County. And with everyone coming back from spring break, I wish it was spring break.
I wish it was spring break too.
Oh, that sounds nice. Warmer weather than this.
Yes.
From Christmas break, we thought, well, let's just take a pause for a couple weeks and let's make sure everyone is happy and safe and healthy and ready to engage in faith formation discussions when everyone is better. I mean, pretty much, right? Like, we just want to see those COVID cases decline and not increase. So, again, we're coming to you virtually this week, and Ashley and I are going to have a discussion, and we're going to play Connect 4. Here's the fun thing. If I win, Ashley has to, if I win, because we'll probably get a couple games in.
Yeah, okay.
If I win, Ashley has to play Bean Boozled with people.
I am not playing that. No way. No, I'm not playing that.
And if Ashley wins, she can sprinkle glitter on my head.
No, if Ashley wins, the equivalent to Bean Boozled would be a complete beard shave.
Holy buckets! All right, we'll let you all decide. We'll let you decide. All right. Well, Ashley, since I got to make fun of you, I'll let you have your first pick.
All right, right in the middle.
Ooh, right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I probably haven't played Connect 4. Oh gosh, probably in at least 10 years.
I didn't play this game growing up very much, and we got it a few years ago, and during COVID, and then when we were home last year, and part of this year, it's my daughter and I play it constantly. So I'm getting really good at it.
Oh,
so
boy.
Be careful.
So I bet you're already building a strategy here.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. What's your favorite game to play, Tom?
When I was a kid. Oh, I see what you're doing. Jerkwad. As a kid, I loved Clue. Clue was one of my favorite games. And now, as an adult, I just like card games. I don't play them often enough, so I'm not really good at any one card game. But I think I really enjoy Gin Rummy. But again, I have to relearn the rules constantly.
I'm a card player too. Anything for cards, I want to play it. So, yeah.
So you all are probably wondering, why the heck are we playing Connect 4? Well, Ashley has this really good talent of connecting faith to everything. So Ashley had this super duper idea of how we can connect faith and Connect 4.
Well, the first thing I think of with Connect 4 is the number 4. Where is 4 big in the Bible? And I don't really know where 4 is big in the Bible, but I know that 3 is big in the Bible with Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And so the fourth thing I kind of think of is myself. And so I think of this, when Connect 4, we want to connect all those things, right? Understanding the relationship between the Father and Son and Holy Spirit, it's very concrete and it's very abstract, and I don't understand it at the same time of how God is all those things yet separate. And so I think it's a constant work for us to continue to try and figure out how to best connect all of that and then connect that into our own lives as number 4, and then what we do with that. So I kind of like that. There's 2 colors, red and yellow, and then there's red and yellow together make orange, and I think a lot of that kind of stuff is interesting, faith is, and the church could be one color, and our homes can be another color, and it's important to bring your separate life from church with your church life and combine it, and then you get orange,
Ooh.
So it's kind of fun color analogy-ish things as well, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, you tricky dog. Yeah, well, I think that I really like that piece on that fourth component of us being invited into how God acts in the world. There was an ancient theologian, and I mean like ancient, and he described the Trinity as like how do we explain the Trinity? He described it as like three dancing partners all dancing together, creating this beautiful thing that we call God. And so I can't help but think that with this Connect Four analogy, that we're invited into this dance of how God acts in the world. And we don't have to just be about trying to beat one another, but how can we add to God's work? Much more like a mosaic versus us playing Connect Four, battling each other.
The other thing I like to do with these that's kind of fancy is I sometimes try and make pictures.
Oh, you dork.
Like with them, you know, like try and put colors all around and make a happy face or, I don't know, something. So that's kind of fun too if I do that.
Yeah, I see what you're doing here.
What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. We're running out of spaces.
You are a jerk. Oh,
Who's
she's
gonna win?
got me. You!
Ding ding!
You had, yeah, it was here,
Yeah.
or if I went here, you were going to come here. You're a jerk.
And if you would have used these,
Oh, shoot.
but it still would have been, you would have gone and then I would have gone and you would have had to have put one there anyways. So I was counting all the holes in my head. So that doesn't sound good that I have holes in my head, but you know. It's a good thing I won. So Tom, glitter or a shaved beard?
Hey, this is not just one game.
So Tom, what do you think about when, you know, the game is over and you were not successful this round and we let out all the pieces fall and all the pieces fall and completely clear out. There's a loud noise. They're all together. We separate them out and then we get back started. How does that connect to faith or does it not for you?
Well, for me, that, I mean, if we're connecting just this game here, I always, one of my favorite Bible stories is the book of Genesis 1 and 2, when God creates creation. Again, it's not so much like a factual, like this is what happened, but truth is conveyed about how God creates. And to me, this is like a blank slate, a new canvas with which God can work, or I can play the game. But it's that this is always being created. So like, say I messed up in the game, I mess up in life. Like God always, you know, clears the board for me to try again, and to participate again, and try to be a better disciple, be a better person, be a better pastor or friend, whatever it is. So.
And I think it's neat that we get to be a part of that creation.
I'm going first.
That we get to be a part of that creation process as well. You know, God is always creating, but there are things we're creating and cultivating, being the hands and feet also.
Right,
So.
and that is, I think we forget that too much, that it's not so much that we are powerless or that what we do doesn't have power to God, because I think we forget that we are, I mean, I like to think of us as like super agents of faith, which is super dorky, but at the same time, how cool is that God says like, hey, you Ashley, like you are gonna change lives. Like, pretty sweet.
That,
Go.
I mean, and that brings me to like our confirmation kids who are watching this, you know, like me, Ashley, you, Tom, are called to change lives, to do something bigger than ourselves. And as adults, we think of that as adults. Like you go to school, you go to college, you get a job, and now in your job, you're going to change lives, make a difference, what have you. but I really challenge that. I think sometimes adults get complacent in what they're doing and they're just kind of going through the motions. And I think it's really important, like for confirmation kids and, you know, kids and teens and everyone to realize that they also are an active participant in changing the world and changing lives right now. Just like they're the church right now. You know, kids are not the church of the future, like they're the church right now. And just being able to live in the present and figure out what it is that you love and you're passionate about and how you can use what you love and what you're passionate about to go out into the world and make a difference.
Yeah, exactly. So whether or not you think you have a role to play, you do. You most certainly do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sneaky.
Sneaky.
Oh, Tom, I wanted to go there.
Oh, dang it. You did it again.
Dun, 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 dun. Ready their place.
So if I were 5 years old, I would just like clear the board and say, you didn't win at all. But for
or you'd put in two at the same time.
I would never do that.
No.
Never do that. Dang. See, she's had too much practice during the pandemic. Wah, 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 wah. Well, let's read a little Bible passage here because hey, we are at church. We're in the youth room, by the way, if you haven't realized. This is from John chapter 13. When he had gone out, Jesus said, "Now the Son of Man has been glorified, and God has been glorified in him. If God has been glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself, and will glorify him at once." Jesus is talking about his future resurrection here. But then he says this, "I give you a new commandment, that you love one another, just as I have loved you. But you also should love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." So I think the sort of love that Jesus is talking about, if I'm not mistaken, is this agape love. And agape love is love that is self-giving. So oftentimes I describe that as the love of a parent, that you just give of yourself without expecting anything in return. That's sort of love God has for us. And Jesus is asking us to love other people in that same way. And so I think by just pausing in-person meetings for a couple of weeks, we are exercising that agape love, that love of one another that Jesus tells us to, because we want everyone to, again, be healthy. And we know that school is super important. So like one less contact here at church is probably an okay thing. And that's not to say that Ashley and I are all of a sudden like, yeah, we are sad, but it's not like we're not going to be open if you want to text us or call us. More than willing to do that. It's just that gathering all these people together probably isn't the best idea for a couple of weeks. So, does that resonate with you at all, Ashley?
Yeah, you know that loving. Go.
Or hate, you know.
Yeah, you know that loving of that unconditional loving. You know, I think that when we think of love and God's love is so easy. As far as, you know, God just loves us no matter what. Mm-hmm. You know, it's easy for God to continue to love us in spite of whatever. Mm-hmm. But I was thinking how it's not always that easy for us to love people and to give that out, you know, and I think in this time, you know, like I'm sure confirmation kids or parents or whoever is watching this video, you know, there's going to be people that are like, this is really a good, smart move. Keep people safe, keep people healthy if we can, try to limit exposure. There's going to be people that are like mad about it. Like, we're going to school, we're the only church wearing masks, we're probably one of the only churches in the area taking a break. You know, there's going to be people that are upset about it too. And I think that it's important that in this Bible verse, he's just said to love, you know, we're loving our neighbor. And loving one another. And he didn't say it once, he said it twice. Like he said it twice back to back. Mm-hmm. So just that importance of loving sometimes loving is hard and frustrating.
Mhm.
Like it's hard and frustrating to love people sometimes, just like it might be hard or frustrating in this circumstance of taking a step back. But we have to look at the bigger picture that I feel personally that by taking a step back, to limit exposure, you know, if that saves anyone or that prevents anyone from getting it, it's worth it for
Right.
us, you know, like worst case scenario, we just have a couple weeks away, versus exposing people and then someone
Right.
getting really, really sick. And
Yeah.
so I think it's important for us that even though it's frustrating, you know, we're 2 years in, like, it's really frustrating for me too. Like there are things we've talked about that we want to do in confirmation and we just can't right now. But it's always looking at that bigger picture and Jesus reminding us of always looking at a bigger picture outside of just
Yeah.
ourselves.
I mean, I think it does. It's an act that people may not like, but again, it's an act that is done out of love. And again, it's not that we're not being open to people or communicating with anyone. It's just that we're gonna do things a little differently for really, hopefully, just one session for middle schoolers and one session for high schoolers.
That's what we hope. Yeah. I mean, who thought, you know, March of 2020, we thought January of 2022, we'd still be doing this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if anything, I feel like we as people need to maybe use this opportunity to look within ourselves to, you know, we're so quick to want to rush back to how things were, you know, and there was this one quote I saw way back at the beginning of all of this. It's like, in our hurry to rush back, what are those things that we want to rush back to? And I think it's important to know, like, yes, friendship and connection, like those are things we're yearning for that we really want to get back to. But the busyness, like I don't miss the crazy busyness.
No way.
I like that slower pace and really valuing time with family. I mean, we haven't done Christmas in a couple of years, so, you know, we were able to gather as a family and that's a big deal. So I don't know, I kind of would encourage all people to like think about what it is that you truly value during this time and try to see the positive of it, because it isn't going to last forever and we might look back and say, oh, remember when it was very much slower pace and we looked out for our neighbor and we constantly checked in on who our neighbors were and making sure they're all okay and, you know, things like that we didn't do before COVID. So
Oh, that stinking Ashley.
got him again, guys.
She's not fair. Well,
Right here, I got him. I can win here or here, so.
before this officially gets to be a sweep, have a wonderful rest of the week. Again, reach out to Ashley or I if you want to talk or text or FaceTime, whatever. We'd be happy to chat with you. Ashley will be emailing this out, so you can at least reach out that way. So,
And you can always reply on whether Tom should shave it off completely or be
goodbye.
glitter.
Goodbye.